In today's video, I'm going to walk you through my favorite EdTech tool for teachers in 2026. Not only am I going to show you what it is, I'm going to show you how you can use it personally in your classroom. No matter if you're a kindergarten teacher, all the way to a high school teacher, math, science, social studies, and English are all inside of Snorkl right now, and you can start using it effectively in your classroom. So let me show you how. But before I do, make sure you like the video and subscribe for more tech tools that you're actually going to want to use in your classroom. I send out some amazing tools that you're going to be able to use, plug into your classroom right away, and it's going to make a huge difference. So let's get into this video where I'm talking about my favorite tech tool of 2026 and how you can use it in your classroom. The EdTech tool that I just can't get enough of in 2026 is Snorkl. This is going to be an absolute game changer for you and your students. You can use it as an exit ticket or at any point in the lesson just to see if your students are understanding the topic or the standard the way that they're supposed to. The best part about Snorkl is that the teacher does not have to give feedback to every individual student. That is what Snorkl does best. It has an AI system set up to walk the students through the steps. The students are able to screen record their thinking process or even or actually talk to the computer, and the computer will tell them where they are right and where they are wrong along the way. And that is where this is super, super cool. It's also free for teachers, so you gotta take advantage of it right now. I think you can get over 20 different assignments for your students, and if you delete one, you get another one back. So you basically have an unlimited one as long as you can constantly keep deleting them. So let me show you how this works for your actual classroom. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a sample lesson here. Very, very simple. There's a bunch of simple ones that you can kind of get started with. And the first one, and like I said, I'm just going to randomly click one of these. And this is explain the steps to peanut butter jelly sandwich to someone who has never made peanut butter and jelly sandwich before, leaving no details out. So at this point, it's listening to my voice and it's also watching what I'm doing on the screen. So I'm going to put a text box there and I'm going to type out how I would make a peanut butter jelly step by step. So then it's going to generate feedback based off of what I typed. So you notice here, it's listening to me, but then it's also going to see my entire screen. It's going to see what I've been typing out, and it says, this is the feedback that I got. So I got a 2 out of 4. I guess I could be better at making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Since it was a 2 out of 4, I get to respond again, and I can use what I used before, or I could come up with a brand new response. So that is basically what it looks like in your student's view or on your student's view for a sample question. So if you're concerned with Snorkl is that there's going to be too many voices in the rooms and the computers can't hear it, or it's going to get too loud, they are coming out with a whiteboard only so the students can draw, type on their screens and screen record it, and the AI can do the same thing that it was doing before. This is why Snorkl is going to be the best thing in your classroom. I was not a big fan because the students actually had to talk, and there was just so many people talking. The whiteboard thing I have used so much, and it is game changing. I'm going to show you that later. Now let me show you how you can actually use this in your classrooms. First off, every single subject, math, science, ELA, history, world languages, and then you just have general music, stuff like that. Literally, if any type of teacher you are, they're going to have something for you here. So you have math. Let's do a second grade math question. These are all the second grade math standards, adding with dominoes. So I'm going to use my screen recorder. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots over here, 1 dot over there, and then 7. In review, I'm going to submit my response, and this is exactly what your students would do, generating some feedback over here by Snorkl themselves. So the teacher doesn't really have to do much except for teach the lesson previous to this, and then this is just gauging what the students know. And perfect right here. It got me a little star because oh my goodness, this is a tough system. Look at this. I got a 3 out of 4. But I didn't explain why. Man, math teachers are going to love this. This is explaining the work. I didn't sit here and say, well, there's 6 dots on this side and 1 dot on this side, so you add 6 plus 1 equals 7. I didn't explain it right. So I showed my work, I just didn't explain it. And that's where I got my 1 point off of. If you're a science teacher, let's do middle school life science. And go through middle school science. This is what I'm a middle school science teacher, so parts of an animal cell. Let's go ahead and do this, and let's see what it says. It says, develop a model that highlights the following main parts and their functions: the nucleus, cell membrane, and the mitochondria. You will be able to learn so much more about your students and what they know and don't know based off of this than if you just gave them a little small piece of paper and you said, hey, do you know what a mitochondria is? The powerhouse of the cell. End and review. And as a science teacher, I got a 3 out of 4 here, and this says a great job. Notice the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. Can you explain the powerhouse, what it means? So just need to do a little bit more of explaining. ELA, so let's do a kindergarten ELA. Key details, the dog. Reading assignment for kindergartners. Best part about this is not a lot of kindergartners can read and write like they're supposed to, right? Some of them can, but not all of them. So that is where this screen recording, where they can talk their way through it. So you go ahead and start their voice recording and say, who's the story mostly about? It's about the dog. Question number 2, what is the problem of the story? The dog barks at everything. Based off of what I said, that is going to allow this AI to generate the feedback for these students, even though they can't read or write properly. So not only can you use this for lower education, you could use this for SPED students that maybe cannot function, like maybe they can't type properly or maybe not write so good, but they can able to talk and do what they're supposed to do. So 3 out of 4, great response, and it's able to figure out what I know as the students without me having to read or write. Ocean mapping. Okay, so this is what, as a social studies students, you could use this. This is a really cool thing. And let's see how well of a job that I did here. Very easy for a teacher to be able to look at this, and a student can learn from this as well. So that's what makes this so valuable. Both teacher and student are able to get good information out of this. 2 out of 4. Let's see. This is the other best part. Missed this question. It told me which one I got wrong, but it didn't tell me the answer. It told me remember and told me to go back and check some of my old learning and notes. That's the job of the teachers, to teach that. And so this is what I know as a student. And so instead of the AI saying, hey, you missed the Southern Ocean, this is the answer. It says you missed Southern Ocean. Let's go back and look at it again and see if you can get it right. Now, let me show you how you can create an assignment as well. So a lot of different things. This is the new thing, and I think a lot of teachers are going to be using the whiteboard only a lot here. So you just have to name your assignment. So let's go with cells, because a science teacher, so I'm going to obviously go with what I know best. I go in here and add a question. I'm going to add the question. I can also add images in here as well. This is not my school account, so I don't have any of my images and things. So I could add images to place on here, like the model. So if I did the human digestive system, I could place a model there. If our math teacher and I had like a chart or a graph that they needed to read, they could do that there as well. So that's pretty cool. You can add instructions, and then you can generate questions from that. So this is science for middle schoolers, and I want them to generate more questions or a better question from what I've already put on the whiteboard. And in review, hit submit. So based off of just my whiteboard and no talking, it didn't hear anything that I had to say. It's going to generate some feedback off of that. So this is Snorkl. This is how you can use it. I would suggest you play around with it, get good with it. Like I said, this is an excellent tool for exit tickets or at any point in the lesson, just kind of giving an idea of what your your students actually know, and you don't have to sit there and read through all the feedback. Best part about this, you as the teacher gets their scores, and you get their feedback as well. Now that you know how to use it in your classroom, let me show you how you can set up a class and how easy it is for your students to join. All you have to do is go up here to where it says classes, and then you're gonna hit create class. You're gonna name the class whatever you want it, change the colors, and then it creates. Now to add students to this, it is very simple. You go to students and you hit invite. All they have to do is go to this link, type in this code. You can also copy the link for them, or you can even paste it into your Google Classroom. It doesn't get any easier than that. They even have a QR code for them. So this is a very simple way to get your students to join. So there's no complicated sign up or connecting it to PowerSchool or anything like that. It is literally just invite, copy this link, copy this code. It's like getting into a Kahoot, getting into a Quizzes, getting into one of those review games, and then your students are able to get in there and see what you have. Then once you have these activities, so I'm gonna have this other class here, you're gonna notice that I have insights and showing me that I don't have any students that have a strong understanding, and that I have a little understanding with the Venn diagram instead. So, and then I could go in here and edit a little bit more. That is what it looks like. And now obviously you get some more information with some more students in here and things like that, but that is a very short that is a very short review of what it looks like to have a class of students in here. You guys are watching to the very end of this video. Hopefully you enjoyed my little PD about Snorkl, and hopefully you can start using it in your classroom effectively after this. And if you think you're going to use Snorkl, don't forget to like the video, and don't forget to subscribe, because I'm going to be doing more tech PDs just like this on YouTube, and you can pick and choose which ones you think you're going to be able to use in your classroom. So don't forget about my monthly newsletter that you can sign up for. I'll put a link down below so I walk you through the steps on how to do that. And in the newsletter, I'm just going to take you through some of my favorite EdTech tools for the month. Guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching to the very end of the video, and I'll see you next week with another PD on another tech tool that I know you're absolutely going to love in your classroom.